Hello kids, it's teacher Didi for a new science lesson. So today we will answer the question um, what happened with the shooting star? No, it's not that question. Has a shooting star ever land someone? Okay, we will answer. Shooting stars, it's the stars we can see in the sky moving and can come on Earth. So we'll answer this question together. Okay.
Hi, Mariana.
I got a question for you. Has a shooting star ever landed on someone?
That is a great question. You've seen water fall from the sky. Maybe you've seen snow. Maybe you've even seen hail. That's when round bits of ice fall from the sky. But on June 28th, 1911, if you were living in the small town of Abu Hummus, Egypt, then you saw what looked like this falling from the sky. As it was falling, people heard what sounded like an explosion. Dogs started barking. The townspeople went out to see what it was. There, on the ground, in the area outside of town, was a rock. A rock that had come from outer space. But what was a rock doing up in space in the first place? And why did it suddenly fall and hit the Earth?
So what was a rock doing in space? Why did it fall and hit Earth? So what do you think? Maybe you know some asteroids, some piece of planet can break into space, and after a while you can see it because that pass the empty space, the vacuum, and arrive on Earth. Maybe it's from the sun, maybe from other planets, or it can be there is many planets, so just a small piece of rocks you can have a lot because there is so many planets. Just a little rock by planet and you can have a lot.
Well, if you go outside on a dark night, chances are you might spot one of these. Did you see that? Look again, right there. See that? This is what people are talking about when they talk about a shooting star. But what is it?
We will see
What's
that.
happening when you see one of these? That was a question that had been one of the great mysteries of all time. For a long time, nobody knew. It wasn't until that one summer day in Egypt, the day a rock fell from the sky and landed on the ground, that we finally started to realize just what a shooting star is. A shooting star isn't a star at all. It's a rock from space. Or the word that scientists use, they call it a meteor. You may have heard that word before. Like if you've heard the idea that it was a huge meteor that might have killed off the dinosaurs so long ago. A meteor which we think might have been one of the biggest meteors to ever hit the Earth. One as big as an entire city. Or there's places like this, Meteor Crater in Arizona, a place where scientists think a meteor about half the size of a football field once slammed into the Earth. But why are we constantly getting hit by rocks from space? What are these rocks even doing up there? Well, as we've learned more about our solar system, we've realized that it's not just the 8 planets and the sun. There are also a lot of rocks that float around in between the planets. Many of them are located between Mars and Jupiter, what we call the asteroid belt. But some of them are floating around in the pathway of the Earth, too. And when these rocks get too close to the Earth, they get pulled toward us. As anything falls toward the Earth from space, it's constantly rubbing against the air of the Earth's atmosphere, which heats it up so hot that it glows. This is why a meteor or shooting star is bright and gives off light as it streaks across the sky. And you can already guess, just from the examples we've talked about, meteors come in all different sizes. There are definitely huge meteors out there, ones like the kind that caused this crater in Arizona. Ones this big are incredibly rare, though. One like this might not hit Earth for thousands and thousands of years. On the other end are meteors like the kind that can be seen on any given night. These meteors are the most common. They're hitting Earth every day and every night. From dark skies, you can notice as many as 2 or 3 per hour each night. But they're also the smallest meteors. Even though these meteors give off enough light that you can see them in the nighttime sky, amazingly, scientists have discovered that most of these meteors are no bigger than a grain of sand. Isn't that incredible? But could a meteor ever land on a person? Given how small these everyday meteors are, it probably won't surprise you to hear that even if one of these did hit a person, that person might not even feel it. But what about one a little bigger, like the size of the meteor that landed in Egypt? Even meteors this size are still incredibly rare. And keep in mind, the Earth is such a big place that most of the meteors like this that do fall to Earth fall into the ocean or out into the middle of nowhere where nobody notices them. But on the evening of October 9th, 1992, a bright meteor was seen by people all over the eastern part of the United States. When it landed, it crashed into a parked car sitting there in the town of Peekskill, New York. Luckily, no one was inside the car. And even better news, lots of people wanted to own a piece of this rock that had come from space. The owner of the car was able to sell the meteor for over $50,000. If you like that story, I've got something even more amazing. On the afternoon of November 30th, 1954, a woman named Elizabeth Ann Hodges was taking a little nap on her couch. Suddenly, a meteor the size of a grapefruit came crashing through her roof and landed right on her hip. It gave her a nasty bruise, but she did recover, and she became, we think, the first person ever in history to be hit by an object from outer space. That's all for this week's question. Thanks, Mariana, for asking it.
So you see,
The
kids.
world is full of incredible wonders.
You see, kids.
Before you
It's
vote on next week's question,
it's possible to be eaten by by object from outer space. Yes, that exists, but is rare. You can walk on the street freely without fear. So we'll see the bonus of this episode. So we'll see the top 5 of surprising things that fall from the sky. Okay. First one.
number 5.
Number 5. This car has a bunch of holes in its windshield. Why? What do you think fell from the sky and broke the glass? Okay. You can imagine some rocks, or maybe some water, solid water. Yes, ice that fell from the sky, called a hailstorm. You don't have in Thailand, I think, but it can be very dangerous. Can eat you and can hurt you a lot. So that could break a window. So imagine that in your head. Hailstones are usually smaller than marbles, but they are huge. A lot. Yes. Wow. Don't want that on my head. It's not snow, huh? It's like ice.
Number
And
4.
number 4. Okay, we have these people have hard hats, yes, on to protect their heads, but they aren't construction workers. What could fall them on in a forest? So yes, because normally you should have that when you work in the construction. In a forest, maybe tree, maybe some animals, or coconuts. Coconuts, it's very dangerous for you. For you. Here's a hint. This is safety sign warning people of the danger in the forest. Does this give you any ideas? Okay, now it's the fruits of the trees. Yeah, it's not coconut is more dangerous. This danger is pine cones. Oh wow, look. It's very very big. These are the largest and heaviest kind of pine cone on earth. Some are as heavy as a bowling ball. Okay, it's same dangerous than a coconut. Okay. Yes, take care of your head.
Number 3.
In Africa, big cats like leopard can actually climb trees. Why would it be helpful for a leopard to be all the way up there? Okay, so if you are on the tree, yes, it's less dangerous. You can fall, but you cannot have something who come from the sky for eat your head. Can escape to predator, but leopard is a predator. And you can find some animals who are hidden on the tree. Being in the tree helps the leopard hide and give it a great view of below. Yes, animals don't expect predator to jump from the tree. Yeah. Very fast. Tak 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 tak.
Number 2.
Have you heard of sugar glider or flying squirrel? They can't actually fly, but they can jump off tall things and glide safely down. Yeah, you have squirrel like that. So they can make a very very big jump with that. Which of these animals do you think can glide through the air? Why? The frog, the koala, the lizard, or the snake? Okay, we'll see that together. Maybe the snake. No. Okay, some lizard and frog can. The frog has a giant webbed tooth. The lizard has extra skin on its side. This helps them to parachute down. Oh la la. It's very stylish. Woohoo! Wow. Very nice. And for finish the number 1, amazingly, a type of snake from Asia can glide to. I said it. When it jump off tree, it make its body wider, acting kind off like a parachute. Uh, Jumping snake. Ooh. Very amazing. Okay.
And now, the last one.
Imagine that you wanted to glide. What could you make this? Think like an inventor. Hint. What part of the squirrel helped it glide? But it's between his arm, his body. Huh? Its body can extend for a larger surface to slow down his fall. Yes, some human create that. A wingsuit. Check out this wingsuit invention. He had claws between the arm and legs, like the flying squirrel's skin. Don't try this at home. Yeah, it's one of the most dangerous sports of the world. But so incredible. Wow, I want to do that now. Okay, kids. Thanks for watching. See you another day for another video.
I reached into my question.
Bye bye.